I'm seeing all these lights, and I just remember thinking, like, oh shit, like, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really doing it. What's up, y'all? This is Tyler Alexander coming back to you with another video. Hey, Pool, if you new. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe this video. If you're new, definitely subscribe because we lit over here. So I had made, before y'all wow me out, I made a 2-hour video. A 2-hour informative video, and I have been trying to upload this video for probably 4 days. It finally uploaded, but it's not able to process for some reason. So I figured I'm going to do a get ready with me, because I am going, my friends are getting me out the house because I've been in the house due to surgery and everything. So they're coming to get me out the house. We probably go out and just get something to eat. But basically, I'm going to do a get ready with me, and I'm just going to explain everything that I mostly explained in the video. And just hit some key questions and things that you want to know about my BBL. So, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go ahead and start my makeup and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and insert, like, the first probably 20 to 30 minutes of that video on here, because it's really explaining everything. And then I might also do a body reveal, because in that video I wasn't able to do a body reveal because I had went through so much making that video. Like, I made the video, I made the full video. The first video was like an hour and some change. And when I went to go upload it, half of the video didn't have no sound. And then when I remade the video, I had ended up putting my pajamas, well, not my pajamas, but like my thigh and stuff back on, because I had took it off so that y'all could see my body and everything. And I was 1 week post-op. So that didn't work because it didn't have no sound or anything. And then like half the video was, I don't know what was going on with my phone. But I had redid it after I had put my stuff back on. I just had told y'all, like, y'all not gonna see my body in this video, but I'm gonna make sure y'all see it next video. So after that, I made that video, and then once I uploaded it, it uploaded, but it didn't process for some reason, so that's why it's not showing. So I'll just start over. It's no problem. Again, if you are not subscribed, you are not a real one, because this is dedication, because this is my 3rd time making this video. So I'm gonna do a get ready with me. I just washed my face and everything. And right now I'm waiting for my DoorDash to get here with my smoothie juice that I normally drink every day. And just a quick snack, because we're not supposed to be going out till 3, and right now it's like, I don't know, it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do my eyebrows, and then I'm gonna come back, because my eyebrows take me time, especially since, as you can see, I have not gotten my eyebrows done. I haven't had my eyebrows done in probably like, I don't know, a month and some. Because, you know, when you, I probably could have got my eyebrows done, but when you about to get surgery, they don't let you get waxes and stuff. So I'm just, wildebeest right now. So what I'll do is I'll do my eyebrows, I'll come back, and then I'll start explaining everything. So stay tuned. So, as you can see, so I had to get myself a little bit together, because if you was watching my video as far as last week and everything I was going through, I had braids. And I'm telling you, when you go through this, you are not going to want hair. You are not going to want any type of weave. You are not going to want anything in your face. I really suggest you get some braids. It don't matter what kind of braids. Honestly, I would just say get some straight backs, get some Meek Millies, whatever it is that's out of your face, get it. Because you are not gonna want to deal with your hair. You are not gonna, like, I'm telling you, I was not trying to deal with hair at the time. I was not trying to. I still haven't even gotten it all together. I literally took out my braids today, just today, and I'm 1 week. I came back yesterday night from Miami. But I'm still 1 week post-op. But anyways, but yeah, if you are going to go through this, I'm sorry, I'm on my knees because I still can't sit on my butt. But if you are going to go through this, I would suggest that you definitely get something that's not going to be in your face. Do not try to do this and be cute, because it's not going to happen. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much of a diva you think you are, whatever the case may be, it's not going to happen. You're just not going to want to. But anyways, yeah, so today makes me 1 week post-op. So, like I was saying, I literally got this wig out my closet like 20-30 minutes ago. I just got out the shower, mind you. I did my face and everything. I'm probably going to really wash my face and everything once I'm done this video. But I took my braids out. I got this wig out my closet and just popped it on for this video. I literally put on this bodysuit so that y'all can see my body, because I'm going to show y'all my body when I'm done explaining everything. So you will not be seeing my body in this video. I was recording and I had realized at the end of the video it stopped. Sorry, y'all. It stopped recording and then there was no sound. So I didn't get any body shots. But I promise on the next video I will definitely show y'all my body. But I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all just not going to see it. It was 3 in the morning and I had to redo everything. So let's just jump into it. So first I'm going to start with, a lot of people was asking me what was the recovery house I stayed at. So I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard not to sit on my butt. And it is so hard. My knees have been hurting because, yo, once you are done this full recovery, you're going to have the strongest knees ever. I know they say you can sit on your butt for 3 weeks. I mean, not on your butt. You cannot sit on your butt for 3 weeks. Yo, them 3 weeks is going to be hell. I'm only 1 week and I'm already complaining. But it's like, yo, you never realize how much you sit on your butt until now. Like, I'm so over this. Like, I know I signed up for it and everything, but I'm so over being on my knees. I'm over not being able to drive. I'm over it all. So I'm not a person that just likes to sit in the house. I don't do that. So if you normally just like to sit in the house, this is all for you. But if you normally like to be out and about and around, yo, I'm telling you, it's something you're going to have to get used to. But anyways, okay, so to the recovery house. So the recovery house I stayed at was at, it's called To Another Level. And she spells another like the way I'm saying it, not another. And I'm going to insert their Instagram. I'm going to insert the Instagram on here. You can see how to follow them. When I tell you, this was probably the best. And I mean, I just came across them because I was looking for no shade to the other recovery houses. But I legit was looking for a Black-owned recovery house. And sorry to say, but I wanted to go to a Black-owned recovery house. That's just what it was. Because, you know, if you know, you know. But I wanted to go to I'm sorry, my boobs are just not sitting right with me. Okay, there we go. Sorry, see, I'm still bruised and everything. So I wanted to go to a Black-owned recovery house. So I came across them. And I don't know what it was about the recovery house. I was looking at the reviews, but you can't just go off of reviews. I literally went with my gut feeling, like, when I found them. Because I was probably going to go to a recovery house. I had planned on going to another recovery house. And I don't know if they're Black-owned, but when it comes to, like, surgery pages and things like that, do not just go off of them. And I'm saying that because a lot of surgery pages, what they'll do is people or recovery houses, they'll ask them to promote them and they'll pay them to promote them. So don't just go off of surgery pages or anything like that. But I was going off of a lot of surgery pages. And when I actually spoke to one of them, they told me, like, because I told them it was between this recovery house and the one that I actually went to. And they asked me, like, what was the name of the one that I said I was going to. And they was just like, oh, I never heard of that. The only reason you probably heard of it, they just was going off. I wasn't even saying anything. They was just going off for the fact that, you know, I told them I might go to another recovery house. So they was like, oh, yeah, I never even heard of that. You know, you can't be going off of the surgery pages or whatever because if you pay them, they'll post you this, that, and the third. And I didn't even tell them, like, that I was going off of the surgery pages or anything. But I just didn't go with them because I just didn't get a good vibe from the person I was speaking to. So, and also they had bad reviews. I'm sorry, I'm just the type of person. I mean, one bad review will not turn me off. But a good 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to have second thoughts about you. I'm sorry. But, so yeah, it's called Another Level Recovery House. The owner, her name is Miss Tammy. Miss Tammy is the best. Like, when it's your surgery day, even if it's multiple girls on your surgery day, she is focused on you. No matter how many girls is in this house, she is all focused on you. And when I say she about her money, she about her money. Like she not, I'm not going to say she a money hungry person to the point where she going to pull out, like, she not going to do the most with you. But she definitely a go-getter. Like, definitely a go-getter. And I salute to her. But when I say, like, this was the best recovery house ever, this was the best recovery house ever. Like, I really went with my gut feeling. I feel like God was like, this the one. So, I went ahead and I went with her recovery house. And I stayed, whenever you contacted her through text message, she contacted you back. Instagram contacted you back. Whenever she would really just rather call you than talking to you on Instagram. Scheduling everything with her was easy piece of cake. She sell BBL pillows. She sell BBL pillows. She do massages. She has like 4 or 5 different nurses there that helps her, and they're like real legit nurses. She's really good. She has night nurses. Like, you are covered as far as like meals and everything when you get there. You're getting served breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She has snacks, hella snacks. She provides you with a pineapple juice. Like, it's all inclusive. Like, you don't need nothing. As far as transportation to the airport, from the airport, she got you. Anywhere else you want to go. When I first got there, I was like, you know, before I get my surgery, I do want to go have fun. So I wanted to go down South Beach, even though I couldn't drink or anything. Like I said, I had my best friend with me. We gonna get to that. But because I had my best friend with me, I was like, I'm trying to go down South Beach. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to see what this is about. Because I've been to Florida before, but I've never been down South Beach. So we went down there. We had to pay the guy that was doing her driving and everything, like, how much we paid? Like $25 to get there. I mean, if you wanted to do your own Uber, that's fine. But I think the Uber was probably $20. He just charged an extra $5 as far as why, I don't know. But I mean, it was an extra $5. Whatever. I get it. It's gas. But she's not that far. She was about 15, 20 minutes away from South Beach. Like, it took us really no time to get, probably 15 minutes. It took us no time to get there and back. As far as coming in, there's no, like, you don't have, like, a strict time or anything to where you need to be back in the house or anything like that. Like, everything was really cool and smooth for her. Like, she was the GOAT. Like, Miss Tammy was the GOAT. Her staff was bomb. They always checked on me, always made sure I was okay. So if you're looking for a recovery house, definitely look into her. As far as pricing, I stayed for a total of 6 days. I didn't, as far as pricing, because I got a private suite, and that was because I brought a male along with me. You can get the private suite, and I mean, you can bring whoever with you. It can literally sleep up to, I'm gonna say 3 or 4, because I feel like the fold-out couch thing could probably sleep up to 3 people. But as far as that bed, you're gonna want that bed all to yourself once you get your surgery. but it could probably sleep up to the whole room itself 4 people. But the couch thing probably about a good 3 people. But anyways, so if you definitely looking into a recovery house, go to her. But as far as pricing, I mean, she do be having deals and things, so I'm not gonna like comment on pricing. I guess I would definitely contact her if you want to look for pricing and everything, because I mean, her prices might change. Prices might not be the same. I stayed for a total of 6 days. I'm gonna give you a ballpark figure of how much I paid. I'm gonna say about, and my best friend went half with me on it, a little bit more than half, but a total, I'm gonna give you a ballpark figure of, I'm gonna say for a total of 6 days, and remind you, everything is included. I'm gonna say a ballpark figure around from 1,100 to 1,600. I'm gonna say from around that much. And mind you, everything is included, meals included. I showed y'all in my last video what everything looked like. So I mean, it was definitely worth it. I feel like it was definitely worth it for six full days. You get your nurses and everything. It was definitely worth it. As far as her customer service and everything, she be on point, and she is the funniest person ever. The food was bomb. Okay, we had seafood boils and everything, and I mean, she cooks everything homemade. So it's like she makes it to the point where, you know, during surgery, as far as like salt and everything, you can end up swelling up. She makes it to the point where, you know, she knows what to put in it, what not to put in it. She had multiple BBLs herself, so she already know what's up with the what's up. But anyways, that was the recovery house. As far as packing, y'all saw in my last video, everything I packed. Now I'm gonna let you know now. I'm sorry, this is so uncomfortable. I'm gonna let you know now. I went into my suitcase probably only the first day I got down there, and that was to change my clothes for South Beach. Other than that, I never not one time went into my suitcase for anything, except for probably, mind you, when I went out for surgery, her, my best friend, they took out everything out of my suitcase as far as whatever had to do with my surgery. Like my bed pads, my binders, my phones, everything that I packed for surgery, she took out already. But anything else, as far as like clothes, I ain't even touch it. Not even a. I'm gonna tell you this now. When I went, yo, I've never been naked around so many people, like openly naked, and gave not one fuck that I was naked. Yo, I was naked probably the entire time I was there. And I mean, everybody in that house saw me butt is naked. Like everybody. Well, I'm saying as far as like nurse wise and stuff like that. And that is due to the fact that, yo, you are going to be naked half of the time. And you need to get comfortable with that. You need to get comfortable as far as like, I know people bring like, what do y'all bring? Like night garments. You ain't going to want to put none of that on. You ain't going to want to put none of that on. You are going to want to be just in your thigh. In your thigh. If you don't want to be naked completely around people, put your robe on. You are not going to want to put on any type of clothing. Like, I packed outfits for no reason. I know y'all saw the outfits. I packed outfits for no reason. I packed night outfits for no reason. Yo, you're just going to want to be in your thigh. The only thing you might need is a sports bra, but luckily she had gave me a sports bra. I mean, not a sports bra, a thigh that had like a bra built into it. So I didn't need that. But when that was washing and I wore my other one from the surgery place, I definitely was wearing like a sports bra because it was open in the front. Okay. So I went ahead and inserted the video talking about the recovery house so I didn't have to go over the recovery house. As y'all can see, I did my eyebrows or whatever. So a lot of people was asking me, you know, was it worth getting a recovery house also than just getting an Airbnb? And what I want to say is, okay, so in the beginning, when I was first planning for this and looking, like while I was looking for a recovery house, I was contemplating on, I was trying to decide if I wanted to do a recovery house or if I should just get the Airbnb, right? And because I was bringing somebody with me. Now, due to what happened to me in Miami, and we're gonna get to that, I suggest, and I'm being like completely honest with you, I suggest that you stay at a recovery house. Like, I really do. I suggest that you stay at a recovery house. And if you are uncomfortable about staying at the recovery house, try to stay at a recovery house that allows you to bring other people with you. I don't feel like this is something that you need to be doing by yourself. Unless you absolutely want to. If you want to, that's completely fine. That's up to you. But personally, I honestly do not feel like this is something that anybody should be doing alone. Because it's, in all honesty, it's dangerous. I know it's your decision at the end of the day is what you want to do. But it's a very dangerous procedure. And not only just is it a dangerous procedure, afterwards, regardless of what you think, you are going to need help. You're going to need help, and things can happen. Things can happen to where whoever is there with you, they're not going to be able to necessarily just help you. So I would suggest that if you don't want to do a recovery house and you still bring somebody with you, at least get a private nurse. Because I'm telling you, could, like, everything went smooth for me, thank God. But me being there and seeing, like, other girls go through this process by themselves, things can really happen. Like, things can, like, mess up. Not saying anything happened to anybody while they was there, but I'm saying, like, girls, like, your hemo will drop. You'll have the perfect hemo when you get there. And as soon as you have your surgery, you know, your hemo will crash. If your hemo crashes, different things that you have to do to get your hemo up. And if you don't know what to do, or if you don't have the energy to do it, or if the person that you're with don't know what to do or have the energy to do it, that person at the recovery house or the nurse or whatever, they know what to do to get your hemo up. Or even if they don't, they know certain procedures and they know to contact, contact like the ambulance or whatever they need to do. So I would definitely say this is not something that you need to 100% do by yourself. And I'm only saying it, again, because I had planned on somewhat trying to do it by myself, but at the same time I kept telling myself, you know, this is not something I want to do alone. Because if something crazy was to happen to me, I need everybody to know exactly what happened and why. So, which is another reason why I felt, and no offense, but another reason I felt more comfortable going with a Black-owned recovery house. But, yeah, so let's just move on. I would suggest that you pack as light as possible. Honestly, I didn't even need underwear. Like, I wore underwear for probably a day. When you wear these, look, these thigh highs, let me tell you, these thigh highs is a UTI, yeast infection, all that in one waiting to happen. You do not need to wear underwear with these, because if you wear underwear with them, honestly, you're just doing too much. Like, I don't know what type, I don't know what you got down there, what you got going on, but if you wear underwear, power to you, sis. Because, like, it's too much. These thighs are really, really tight. You gotta pee, and peeing in this is no joke. I feel like I done peed on myself probably about 5 times during this whole process. I peed on myself even when I came home and I was mobile and able to walk around. Like, I'm telling you, you are not gonna, wearing underwear with this is just pointless. So you're not gonna wear underwear for a long time. So as far as underwear, you probably only need like 2 pairs of underwear. You only need sports bras, because I feel like wearing a regular bra with this thigh high, I mean, you can. And I'm probably gonna put one on depending on which shirt I wear today. But honestly, a sports bra is just better. Or like a cute little tank top or something. But as far as packing, y'all saw what I packed. I didn't really need much. So I would suggest, like I said, just packing the main stuff you need for your BBL. And you can go back and look at my my packing video so that you can see exactly what I packed. The only thing that I forgot to pack, which I wish I would have packed, was my front board. And I ended up getting one when I was down there. I brought one from my recovery house. You need a front board, and I forgot, because I had got this because I thought that this was the only thing I was going to need, this thing. But no, this is just a backboard. You need front board and backboard. The backboard gives you like that little dip in your back, and the front board flattens out your stomach. Yo, I want to get my lashes done so bad, but I gotta wait to do everything. I'm getting myself together. I'm gonna make a video where I'm like finally getting myself together. I done made my hair appointment. I'm about to get my hair. I'm about to just get back on my shit because it's been rough. But it's okay, because at the end I'm gonna be bomb as fuck. But yeah, it's been rough. And you gotta also remind yourself that as well. You gotta give yourself time to heal. Do not be one of them girls that's trying to jump out and do everything, because you're not gonna be able to do nothing for a while. I mean, you can do stuff, but you really not gonna be able to do anything. Like, I honestly had a drink the other day, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was scared. I was like, I don't even know if I should be drinking. But the lady I go to for my massages, she was mad, because she was like, Tyler, you're not even a whole 2 weeks yet. I mean, I'm not a whole 2 weeks. You're not even a whole month yet. Like, why are you drinking? But I went to 7 West with my homegirl after my massage, because my massage place is across the street from 7 West. And she was drinking, and I wanted to drink so bad. And I called my massage person and asked her, like, can I drink? And she was like, what are you drinking? Like, what do you want to drink? And I'm like, I just want like a sangria. And she was like, drink half the sangria, drink half a cup of water, drink the other half of your sangria if you're going to, and drink the whole cup of water, drink the rest of the cup of water. So, I mean, I guess drinks is limited, but I forgot what it said. I'm going to look to see what it said in my packet about drinking. I know I smoke every now and then. I know smoking make your butt smaller, so I ain't been smoking at all. And I know they say you might as well quit. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I know they say you might as well quit. But come on now. I'm a social smoker anyway. I don't smoke like by myself and all that stuff. So unless I really, really feel like it. Like, I got to be in the mood. So that wasn't a problem. But yeah, smoking make your butt small, because it blocks the the oxygen supply. It blocks your oxygen supply that need to get to your cells in your butt. So, and that's what make your fat cells die. So that's why they say if you smoke, you might as well stop. But oh, let me turn that down. Okay, speaking of cells, a lot of people was also asking me if I had got the cell saver during my process. And so I did not get the cell saver. The reason that I did not get the cell saver was because my hemo was a 13. My hemo was a 13.6. I think at the seduction, your hemo has to be I think above 11. It has to be above 11 for you to qualify to not get the cell saver. So they told me my hemo was fine. And even like during the day of my surgery, when me and Dr. Sampson talked, I was like, do I need a cell saver? Because, you know, he's a strict doctor. So he was going to tell me, like, whether or not I was required to get it or not. And he looked at my numbers and everything. He was like, no, your numbers are perfect. You don't need it. So I just was like, okay, cool. So I didn't get the South Saver. What else? Okay, so let's talk about seduction. So a lot of people, when it comes to seduction, they talk about their customer service being trash, right? Yo. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually add the video. I'm going to add the video of me talking about seduction from my last video that I made that didn't get a chance to upload. Because I explained it a little better on that video. And I was more detailed about everything. So I'm going to add that video on here so that y'all can see what happened as far as like when I got to the clinic and all that stuff. So 1 second. Some people was asking as far as seduction, what happened when I got to seduction. So if you watch my video again, I did say that my flight was late. And my flight was late because it was snowing. And I kept in contact with seduction, letting them know everything, letting them know what was going on. Now, online, it says that seduction closes at 6. I probably got there about 5:15, and that was due to the fact that I did not get to Miami until like around 4:15, 4:30. And luckily, seduction is not that far from the airport. And luckily, my recovery house was on it. Like, as far as as soon as we was landing, like plane on the ground, brakes scraping, all that, I called them like ASAP and was like, I'm landing, I'm here. And she said, oh, for real? Like, I think she was already out doing something or dropping somebody off at surgery. I don't really know. But all I knew, she was just like, cool, be there in 5-10 minutes. She was like, just call me when you get the baggage claim. And I'm like, all right. She came up in her little Porsche or whatever. She got like a little Porsche truck. Came up in the Porsche truck, picked us up. One of her drivers was with her. She actually had her daughter with her. Her daughter is like her assistant, so she definitely be helping her. I gotta get a pillow, y'all. 1 second. I don't want to put my pillows on the floor. I had to just do it. So anyways, okay. You're going to do this a lot. You are going to be on all fours a lot. So just get used to it. For the first 3 weeks at least. So as far as when I got there, I got asked seduction like around 5:30. Now, when people talk about seduction customer service, I definitely see it. I don't know, and I'm not being racist or anything. Like, I love all people. Like, I don't have no type of discrimination towards anybody. But I don't know if it's like a Spanish thing down there. I don't really know. But they are very, very stuck up. Like, the girls that work at the front desk at that facility, they are very stuck up. And I just be looking at them like, I was just looking like, oh, y'all don't know. Like, I'm not from Florida. Like, oh, y'all just don't know. Like, we don't do that down. I'm from Maryland. And specifically, I'm from Baltimore. Okay? So, all that stuck up shit is dead. As far as all that shit is dead. We wilds out. So, I'm just like, I get there, and the girl, she was giving me, what's the bitch name? What is the bitch name? Regina George vibes, I'm gonna say. She was giving me straight Regina George vibes, and she was no Regina George, honey. Like, I ain't even gonna go there, but she was giving me straight Regina George vibes, and she straight, oh, what's your name? And I gave her my name or whatever, and she's like, are you here for surgery? And I'm like, no, I'm here for post-op. You just called me, mind you, and I told you I was 7 minutes away. And she was like, oh, okay, Tyler? Oh, okay, here, fill us out. And I'm like, okay. So mind you, they in there, they talking, geeking, or that's all they really doing is geek. All they do is geek at their desk or whatever. So I mean, that ain't bothering me. I know how it is when you at work. Mind you, I did come late, so I wasn't like doing the most or whatever. But I'm just like, still, bitch, be nice, because this is still your job. Be nice. So anyways, so she give me the thing, and I'm filling out all this paperwork. Y'all know, like everybody saying in the videos, you end up filling out all this paperwork. And I'm really reading certain things I'm trying not to read because I'm trying not to get anxiety. I know what it say, but I'm trying not to get anxiety. So it's like, I don't want to read everything, but I know what it is. So I'm signing, and then I get to this one particular thing where it asks about alcohol. Now, I was confused on as far as when they wanted you to stop drinking, because I needed to know, because when I go out, I like to drink. And I was really not drinking for a while, but if you watch my other videos before surgery, you heard, I mean, if you watched it fully through, you heard the story about me slipping up as far as a drink. Because I was like Googling, like, when do you really need to stop drinking? Because I was kind of scared to ask them because I didn't want them to think that I was drinking. But they actually send you 2 weeks before surgery, they send you a list of things not to do 2 weeks prior to surgery, and alcohol is on that form. So I finally seen that they didn't want you to drink 2 weeks before surgery. So when it asks on the paper, it asks you specifically, do you drink alcohol? So, you know, just to be specific and just to be safe, I got up, went to the front desk, and I'm like, you know, it's asking, do you drink alcohol? And I'm like, are they asking, do you drink alcohol socially? Or have you drunk alcohol recently? Like, and she's like, I don't know what you're asking. And I'm like, okay, so let me pull out my phone and translate it in Spanish or some shit, because what you mean? Like, I'm asking you, do you, like, are you asking me, do I drink alcohol socially, or have I drank alcohol recently? Like, I need to know specifically what the fuck you're asking. So she's like, yeah, like, do you drink alcohol, like, socially or period? Like, is it like an everyday thing? And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, yeah, so you could just put no. But she's like, you could put in, like, parentheses, socially, if you want to. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, fuck. Anyways, I feel like that wasn't a hard question, but it was more of a, I don't know. I'm not even about to let that get to me. I don't know. So anyways, so after I'm done filling out all the paperwork, I finally get to the, I give her everything, and I go in the back, and it's another girl that was sitting at the front desk. And mind you, I've never seen my consultant the whole time. Now, I had a really good consultant with seduction. I had about maybe 2 or 3 consultants. I don't know why their consultants end up leaving, or they be like, oh, she's not here. I don't know what that's about, but my last consultant, she was perfect. I follow her on Instagram. She was everything. Her name was Rosani. She was a good consultant. She always answered any questions as far as like anything, as far as after hours. I would message her on Instagram, like asking her questions. She would answer like this. Like, she was a good consultant, and I made sure I kept her. And I made sure I kept her. Keep your text messages from seduction. I don't care how long they are. I don't care how far back they are. I don't even care if they are with a different consultant. Keep them, because they try you, and I'm about to tell you why. So, oh, this is so hard. So, we get in the back or whatever, and they take us to, we in this like little room, and it's like a little office, and it's like a wall. It's a desk, some cabinets, a chair for you, a curtain, and a blue strip wall where I guess they take your pictures, right? Mind you, I'm hot. I'm coming off of this plane. I ain't even changed my clothes yet. I'm hot. I've been up since like 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was just a rough day. And you can see on my face, like, it's been a rough day. So we go in the back of the room, and she talking to me, and she like, can you pull all your cards out that you use to pay or whatever? And I'm explaining to her, like, you know, First of all, it's dumb. I don't know why they do that. No other surgery place asks you to do that I know of. But she was like, it's required for you to get surgery. So I showed her as far as, because I had stopped. I had remember I told y'all I had planned to go with seduction, then I stopped. And they were still trying to like use the payments when I had stopped. And I'm like, that was a whole different situation. Like, I shouldn't even have to show you cards for that because I had started over. So she had to call somebody and ask. But even her attitude was off. Like, their attitudes towards each other was amazing. As far as them, like, they was geeking and laughing and talking in Spanish. But it's like, as soon as they start talking to you as a customer, they be on some other shit. And it's like, their whole mood changed or something. And it's like, okay, bitch, I don't want to be here either. All this paperwork and stuff that I got to fill out, and you mad at me? But anyways, like, you chose to do this. But, so yeah, so she gets to calling whoever she called, and she was talking in Spanish, so I don't know who she was talking to. I don't know if it was the owner or what. But she like, yeah, I knew for a fact that she was asking new BBL or old BBL, or do we need cards for both, or whatever the case may be. And they must have said new. So I was showing her the cards or whatever that I was using, and luckily I had put down the deposit with my Cash App card, and luckily Cash App went back to 2019 on my phone, so I had to screenshot it, send it to her. It was a lot. Like, that happened. Then after everything was cleared as far as the payment, she come back in and she's like, okay, get undressed. And I'm like, right here in this office, like in this little office. And she's like, yeah, get undressed. I'm gonna come back in and take your before pictures. And I'm just like, okay. She just pulled a curtain. I'm like, the fuck? Y'all want me to get undressed right here? Like, it was just, to me, it was an unprofessional setting to just be having somebody. I just pulled out my cousin. It's a whole computer right here. Like, this is somebody's office, and you just like get undressed. But anyways, that's just probably how they do things, I guess. I don't know. But I did it. I got undressed. She took my before pictures. And then after she took my before pictures, she come back in, she take my before pictures. And while she's taking my before pictures, she come back in and she's like, oh yeah, I gotta take a COVID test for you. And while I'm getting dressed, no, before the COVID test, she's like, you gotta pay $100 for the COVID test. And I'm just like, all right, I already knew I had to pay $100 for the COVID test before I got there. So, this how she got me though. So, mind you, if you are going to get surgery anywhere, bring extra money. I feel like if you going on a trip, period, it don't matter if it's for surgery, if you going on a regular trip, it don't matter. Always bring extra money with you because you never know. Like, you just never know. So, she's like, you got to pay $100 for a COVID test. I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh, you also got to buy our post-op care package. And I'm like, I thought I didn't have to buy that. I thought that was optional. And it didn't click in my mind to pull up the text message and really go back. And mind you, it was a long day. So it didn't click in my mind to go back and forth with her. I kind of put up like a little argument, but I just did not feel like going back and forth with her. But I probably could have won due to the fact that it was about time for them to get off. And I could have pulled the whole I'm a black girl with an attitude in there, but I didn't. I didn't do it. When she said it, I went back and forth with her for a minute because I'm like, but I thought it was optional. Like, I'm not about to pay y'all for post-op care packages if I already brought half of my post-op care. Mind you, the post-op care package, I'm going to tell y'all, but I ain't gonna go there. The post-op care, my post-op care package, because they said it was different ones for everybody, whatever the fuck that means. But my post-op care package came with the Lovenox shots, a weak-ass BBL pillow, and what else did I get? I think that was it. Oh, and my fire. That they said it was the fire, or my stage 2 fire. Now the post-op package was $300. The The COVID test was $100, and I guess they text the shit out of it, actually. So I just remember her saying basically it was like 4 something. I can't remember the exact amount. And I'm just like, but why am I paying for it? And she was like, well, your coordinator is supposed to let you know that, you know, it's not optional, it's required when you get your surgery. Now, mind you, I didn't until my actual post-op appointment, not post-op appointment. My post-op appointment, because this was my pre-op. Okay, so that's basically what had happened when I had arrived. So yeah, so my post-op package, it literally said in them text messages from my original coordinator that it was optional for me to do the $300 post-op package. And I didn't go back, and I didn't realize, like I said before in my last video, I didn't realize it until I'm at my post-op appointment. Like, I'm going through my phone while I'm waiting to go in the back. No, I was waiting to get picked up from my from the lady from the recovery house, and it literally said like optional in parentheses. So at that point, I mean, I literally had the post-op package in my hand. So at that point, I didn't even, the person that I had, once I paid for it at a whole different facility. My post-op appointment was at, because they ended up changing my doctor, my post-op appointment was at the facility where Dr. Sampson is at. So I wasn't even about to go back and forth with the girl, because she didn't even know. The girl at my actual post-op, she didn't know what was going on, and she was stressed because she was the only person in there. I could already see like she was stressed out at that time. So I just was just like, fuck it, look, you made it out of surgery safe, don't bring no bad energy or whatever. So I'm gonna fix my lips in a second, but so anyways, so back at the, we gonna rewind back to pre-op. So after she tells me that I have to pay for the package or whatever, I ended up paying for the package and the COVID test, and it came down to like 4 something. I can't really remember the exact number, but it was like 4, I'm gonna say like 450, 460 something. They text the shit out of it. So I was just like, okay. So I paid for it or whatever. I was tripping, I ain't even gonna lie, but after my flight and like all that, I was already stressed out. So I just was like, I'm just trying to get this shit over with so I can go home. Oh, let me turn this down. And after she do my COVID test and everything come out, you know, negative or whatever, then I don't know if, I think I told y'all that we went into the little she made me go into the bathroom. Then I didn't like the fact that she had to come into the bathroom with me, and then how she was acting while she was in the bathroom with me, and then like you opening doors and shit while you in the bathroom with me, like while she leaving out. And I'm like, damn, are you gonna like make sure nobody is right there? Like, my whole shit is out. Like like I don't know, like that attitude is just shitty. I'ma just keep it 100. Like, their attitudes is horrible in there. I don't know if it's just they had a bad day. I don't know if they was mad at me because I was late. But again, I told y'all why I was late. I told you I was going to be late. So I don't know what the fuck it was, but their attitudes was horrible. But anyways, so then at the end of everything, we go back into the office, and this is where she started to be a little bit nice, and I should have peeped it. But we go back into the office, and she like, all right, everything came back cool or whatever. I'm like, duh. Like, should have. But Why is my nose running? So we go back into the little office thing where she had me take all my clothes off. And she just was like, oh, by the way, we gotta change your doctor. And I'm like, change my doctor? And I'm like, what you mean? And she like, Dr. Abid's schedule is booked up for tomorrow. And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, yeah, her schedule should be booked up. I should be on them books. Because, one, I pay all my money. Mind you, I paid my surgery off early. My surgery had been paid off for a while. So, I specifically asked for that date. Like, I specifically got, my surgery wasn't supposed to be until April. I got a earlier date because I wanted to hurry up and get things done. But my surgery wasn't supposed to be until April. But my surgery was already paid. Like, everything had been paid off. So I was trying to figure out why I'm not on them books. So yeah, so I'm like, what you mean? She was like, and I don't know if like it had anything, even I feel like even if I was late to my pre-op, I should still be on there because the whole point of me paying everything off was so that it would hold my spot for that day. So anyways, I just was like, yo, I lied to you or not. If she would have said anybody else in that facility, and I'm not being shady or nothing, but when you do all your research on a doctor, and when you get comfortable with a doctor, the last thing you want to hear the day before surgery is that I'm changing your doctor. So if she would have said anybody else's name in that facility, I just would have been like, oh no. I would have went home. I would have got all my money back, and I would have went home. But she was like, Dr. Sampson has an opening. And I just was like, I was a little confused. And then I'm like, Dr. Sampson. And then I was just thinking, I'm like, well, I had chose to go with Dr. Sampson from the jump. Like, Dr. Sampson, I wanted him to be my doctor from the get-go. It's just that I had wanted a bid because she go with girls that are more of my body type. So, at that point, I wasn't even, like, mad or anything. She was like, you know, he's our top doctor. I understand it's the day before surgery. And I know how that sounds, but, yeah, her schedule was booked. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, okay. I know that Dr. Sampson is a strict doctor. I know that he's a good doctor. And like you say, he's their top doctor. He really is their top doctor. So I just was like, that's fine. My only concern with Dr. Sampson is that Dr. Sampson works on bigger girls. I don't really see him work on a lot of girls that are smaller. So I just was like, I don't want no big old booty. Like, so I hope, you know, he don't give me no big old butt. So at the end of all that, I just said, okay. We left and we went back to the recovery house. And then when we went back to the recovery house, we had started getting ready to go. We had ate and then we started getting ready to go down South Beach. So, she also had told me that I was going to be on call. So they didn't have like a exact time for me to be seen for my surgery. So she was just like, you know, they're going to call you when they're ready. So that made me even more anxious because I'm like, oh shit, like I don't know when I'm going. And then I got to stop eating after a certain time. And my whole thing is, if I knew what time I was going to surgery, I know that you can't have nothing to eat at least 9 hours before, you know, surgery. So I could have ate something, but I didn't know what time they were going to call me. So I just knew I couldn't have anything to eat. When she say like after 12 o'clock that night. So I just didn't eat anything after like 10, 11, 12 o'clock that night. Now you talking about irritated. I was so irritated the next day. And then I was mad because my best friend with me. And, you know, the recovery house, they serving breakfast, lunch, and all that. They serve all that. So I'm sitting there watching him eat. And I'm like, yo, I'm hungry as shit. Like, I'm just sitting there like, yo, smelling food. Everything was just annoying me. So, we had, like, all that day, like, I had the most anxiety in the world. Like, whoever say that, I mean, some people, they really might not, but whoever says that during their surgery they don't think about death, they're lying. Like, I don't care what you say, you're lying. Because, come on now, it's 2020, especially right now. Well, it's not 2020 right now, it's 2021. But after everything we've just been through in 2020, anything can happen. So you're not about to sit here and tell me, even before that, you're not about to sit here and tell me that you didn't think about death not one time during that whole surgery, or during your whole process of arranging your surgery. Because it definitely came past my mind a couple times. So you're not about to sit here and tell me that. It's just, at the end of the day, it's understandable because it's what you want to do. But you got to go in with a positive mindset. So that's why I was just like, people be lying. And I feel like, bitch, you won't want them real. You won't want people to be 100% honest. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. I definitely had them thoughts running past my mind because it could happen. But I kept praying about it. I kept telling myself, you know, I'm with a good doctor. Regardless if they switch me, I'm still with a good doctor. Everything happens for a reason. I could have went with a bear, and a bear is a good doctor too, but she could have gave me results that I didn't like. So, like I said, everything happens for a reason. I kept telling myself I have plenty of guardian angels that, you know, surround me and they're going to take care of me. God got me. So, yeah, but I'm not going to, you know, regardless of what you think and how positive you try to be before it happens, like right before it happens, you're going to get nervous. Nervous. You're either going to be nervous or you're going to be extra excited. Because I ain't going to lie. I was hella nervous because I was waiting for them to call. And then, like, around, like, me and my best friend, we had went for a walk around the area because she lived in, like, a nice neighborhood. Like, the recovery house is in a really nice neighborhood. I know I got a lip gloss somewhere. This is pink. 1 second, y'all. Okay, so she lived in like the recovery house is in a really nice neighborhood. So we just was like, you know, we wanted to go for a walk a little bit before my surgery. We was just walking and talking, and we probably walked around. How long we walked around? We probably walked around for like a good hour, and we came back, and you know it's hot in Miami. So, as soon as we came back, I wanted to take a shower. So, I took a shower. And something told me to just go ahead and take my actual shower before my surgery. So, I started washing up with, like, the, I can't remember what it's called. I don't know if it's hibiscus. I can't remember what it is, but I was washing up with that soap and Dial soap. But, while I was washing up, I get to washing up, I get out. Oh, I had my mouth open. You know, you can't put on, like, you can't have on, like, deodorant and all that stuff. So I washed up, I dried off, I got out. I probably sat down for probably, like, I'm going to say I sat down for probably, like, 10 minutes, and then my phone, like every time my phone had went off all day, I would get nervous. Like as soon as my phone get off, I'd be like, oh shit. But my phone, they had called me, and when I answered the phone, Dr. Sampson was on the phone. He called me himself, and I just remember him being like, hi, is this Tyler? I'm like, oh shit. I'm just like, yeah. And he like, all right, I need you to come on now. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm ready to get surgery. Like, when I say jaws dropped, your jaws dropped. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, my God, it's real. Like, this shit is real. So, before even telling my because my recovery house, Miss Tammy, she had been asking me all day, like, had they called you yet? Had they called you yet? And I'm like, nope. And she was like, oh, well, they gonna call you soon. And I'm just like, all right. So before even contacting her and letting her know that they had contacted me, I told my best friend, I said, all right, we gotta pray real quick. And he was like, all right. And he like, well, we pray, you gotta say it. Because he like, I pray, but I don't know how to pray for other people. I'm like, what type of praying do you do then? If you don't know how, what type of selfish shit is that? What do you mean you don't know how to pray for other people? And he like, oh no, I know how to pray for other people. He like, but I pray alone. Like, I don't know how to pray with people. And so I'm like, I get what you're saying. But still, don't say it like that. Like, what you mean you don't know how to pray for other people? That's so selfish. Like, don't say that shit in public. Like, but yeah, so we get to praying, and I'm just like telling God, like, look, I don't know if what I'm doing is right. I don't know if what I'm doing is wrong, but I know it's something that I really I'm hell bent on doing. And I'm just like, you know, I don't have no kids, but I got brothers and sisters that I gotta come home to. I got things that I want to do, and I know that me getting my body done is going to give me more confidence to do the things that I want to do in life. So I'm just like, you know, it's going to give me that confidence, because it was never that I hated my body. It's just that I always had issues losing weight. And also, I mean, I was always somewhat kind of curvy. But it's just, and I worked out. I will work out. I had no problems with doing none of that. But I would just never see the exact results that I wanted to see. So, yeah. So I was just praying, and I, you know, made sure everything was, you know, I made sure I was comfortable once I was done praying. And, oh, y'all see this. And once I got done praying, I told Miss Tammy, like, they called me, and she was like, oh, it's your turn now. And I'm like, she like, here I come, Ray, come get you. And I'm like, all right. She like, come outside so that we can go ahead and take you. So she drove me herself. Me and my best friend, we in the car. We in there talking. While we in the car, I'm taking out my nipple rings because I had forgot. I'm giving them to my best friend. I'm taking out my ankle bracelets, my belly piercing, all that. I gave them all to my best friend, and when we get there, it's like pulling up, I got even more nervous. Like, okay. So yeah, so pulling up, I got even more nervous, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really about to get surgery. Like, this is wild to me. I'm about to get my wig, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm just texting everybody, letting them know, like, all right, y'all, I'm ready to go in and get surgery. And they just like, all right, everybody telling me good luck. Everybody like, we praying for you, this, that, and the third. Told all my homegirls in our little group chat. Told my mother like, okay. You know, told my sisters and all them. Walk in, and I'm trying to like calm my nerves down, because if your blood pressure is too high, they will cancel your surgery. This is too big, and I need a water bottle to spray it down some. Would y'all be mad if I told y'all hold on one more time? Hold on. I feel like y'all can't get mad because it's to get ready with me, and I'm trying to get ready. But anyways, so we get in there. I get in there, and while I'm in there, the mood from the other facility, seduction, and the mood in this seduction is completely different. Like, the girls in there, well, I don't know if it was just I came on a good day in that facility or what, but they are 10 times nicer in there. I don't know, when I walked in, the girl was just like, oh, you're here for surgery? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. And she like, who's your doctor? And I'm like, Dr. Sampson. And she's like, okay, he'll be with you shortly. And I sit down. She just seemed happy. She seemed like she was happy to bring her ass to work that day. But when I sit down, it's another girl sitting right there. And she all like surgery ready or whatever. Like, she had on her little get up or whatever, her surgery stuff, and she was all mucked up. And I don't know if it's just her nerves was bad or what, but she looked a little mean. But I wanted to say hi. I said hey, but I wanted to, like, I don't know, I'm the type of person where it's like I have a conversation with you if you have conversation with me, but if you don't talk to me, I ain't talking to you yet. So she wasn't really saying much, and I was like, maybe she's trying to get herself together. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking around, and then I see this one lady leaving for surgery, and she wasn't like screaming or nothing. She was just real cool about everything, and I'm like, okay, so this might not be that bad. And she was older, like she was an old lady, so I just was like, maybe I'm geeking. It might not be that bad, like, I don't know. But the girls in the recovery house that I was staying at, they had kind of, you know, put me on edge, but only I think 2 of them came from seduction, but they didn't have Dr. Abdul or Dr. Sampson, so I really couldn't ask them any questions. But they was telling me like the first couple hours of your surgery gonna be crucial, and I'm like, it's gonna be crucial, and they like, yeah, like, and I'm just like, all right. They was scaring me a little bit, but at the end of the day, you gonna have your own experience. So at the end of the day, how it goes for everybody else is not how it's gonna go for you. Everybody got their own experience. Everybody gonna have their own story. And I suggest that you do not watch any videos or anything the day before or day of surgery, because you just gonna freak yourself out. So just chill out, wait your turn, pray about it. Do not watch any videos or anything like that, because you're gonna freak yourself out. I didn't watch any videos or anything. I just asked them about it, but yeah. So I'm in there and I see Dr. Sampson come out. And Dr. Sampson, he is very funny. He's like one of them people he's awkwardly funny. Like, he's trying to be funny and comforting, but you can tell it's something that he really doesn't do. So I don't know. I don't want to say he's not a people person, because he works with people all day. But he's just awkward around people trying to make you comfortable. I don't know. I can't explain it. But so he comes out and he's like, hey, you're Tyler. And I'm like, me, Paul. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he's like, come on down to this room. And so we walk down to this room. I feel like this is gonna fall off, and I cannot find a comb. It's in there somewhere. I don't know. I'll fix it when I'm done. So we walk down to this room. When we walk into the room, first off, he told me I follow directions really, really well, because he was like, you're going to walk all the way down, and you're going to make a left, and then you're going to make a right. And I did exactly what he said, and I ended up in the room. He's like, oh, you follow directions really, really well. I'm like, oh, you must have a lot of dumb bitches come through this, come through here. But anyways, so yeah, so we go all the way down, and when we get into the room, the first thing he says to me is, you look like a little girl. And I'm like, excuse me, sir? Like, I'm grown as fuck. I was like, I'm 23 years old. He was like, you still a little girl. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So he like, so you from Baltimore? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, Tyler from Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm just like he kept saying it, y'all. And I don't know if they never had somebody from Baltimore in there, or if he never had a Baltimore patient. I don't know. But he just kept saying it. And I'm like, yeah, Tyler from Baltimore. Like, hey, that's me. So he's like, he starts to pull out all the surgery garments and stuff. And he's like, I need you to, he like, I need you to change. He was like, I need you to put these on. He gave me my socks. He gave me my surgery shoes. He gave me my little head thing and the little paper gown that they give you. And so we sitting in there, and he's just like, what the hell did he say to me? We sitting in there, and he was like, I'll be back in like 5 minutes after you change and stuff. And he gave me something to pee in. Mind you, I had not eaten anything or drank anything since 10 o'clock. I don't know, I stopped eating. We had went to this place, and I couldn't drink. It was taking everything in me not to drink, because their drinks was $25, $45, but they was like big ass drinks. So I'm just like, yo, I could have been fucked up down there. It was taking everything in me not to do anything illegal down there. Like, so, I had stopped. I had got a drink, but it was non-alcoholic, and I had got it's like something small to eat, because we had ate before we went, and we had got, I think we had did that like around, I know I didn't eat anything after 10 o'clock. So after 10 o'clock, I didn't eat anything. So mind you, I didn't have anything to eat, anything to drink after 10 o'clock. So, and I had peed after we had took our walk. So I was trying not to, because I was like, I knew I was probably going to have to pee when I got there. So I was really trying hard not to, but I don't know how, but I squeezed it out of me when I was at the office or whatever with him. I mean, when Dr. Sampson gave me the cup. I squeezed the little bit. It was so, like, it hit the line. It hit the line. That's all that mattered to me. So I just was like, I hope that's enough. But he took my pee. He came back in, he took my pee, and my dumbass had ripped the little paper gown thing, being overexcited while I was putting it on. And he was like, it's okay, it's paper, it's all right. And I'm just like, all right, I just needed you to know. So he get to asking me some questions as far as like family medical history and things like that. He asked me, what did I do? He was just very upfront about a lot of things. Now, I wanted to record our conversation, but it's not that he did not want me to. Dr. Sampson is very, very, what can I, personal maybe? I don't know. When he's speaking to you about a serious matter, he like wants you to be here with him. Like, he wants you to know, like, he wants you to really be listening to everything that he's saying. So it was just one of the moments where it's like, you ever had that teacher and you don't play with that teacher? He that teacher where it's like, you pull your phone out, you know they're gonna be on your ass about it. So I just was like, if I was to pull my phone out, I feel like he would have said something about it. So again, it's not that he didn't necessarily want me to. You could just tell, like, not right now. So while he's explaining everything to me, and I mean, he's like, the little bed that you have in the room, the paper that they got on the bed, he's like writing everything down on that paper, like mapping out everything as far as the surgery, how the surgery work, exactly what he's gonna do. Like, he does not play. So I'm sorry, y'all. It's the top of this wig that's bugging me. So I'm listening to everything that he's saying, and he drawing out the map, and he's like, you know, this surgery consists of 3 things. The 3 things that he pointed out was fat, of course, sex, and I forgot what the last thing was. I can't remember, but basically he was telling me the 3 things it consists of, and he was like, fat, as far as the fat, I'm gonna take the fat out of these areas on you. And he was like, and this is before marking me up or anything, he's just explaining everything to me. But yeah, he's like, I'm taking the fat out of these areas. Once I take the fat out, I'm not doing no baby hairs. He's like, once I take the fat out, I'm going to, he like, once I take the fat out, I'm going to transfer it to these areas. And then once I transfer it, I'm going to basically, he was like, this is where it's sex comes involved, because he was like, in order to make you, you know, sexy, I'm going to curve you out in these areas, and I'm going to make sure this happens so that you can have a more sexier figure. And I'm just like, okay, and I'm really listening. He's telling me like all the risk and everything. I mean, you can always Google the risk. He told me pretty much everything that will pop up on Google. So he like, yeah, as far as risk, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. He told me the things that were like not likely to happen, or how I can prevent certain things from happening. Which is, it was all like basic stuff. So again, it's as far as like blood clots and stuff, and wearing your compression socks and things like that. So after we went through that, he was just like, all right, so I'm gonna get the nurse to come in here so we can mark you up. So he go get the nurse. Mind you, Dr. Sampson kept giving me a lot of compliments, okay? He kept saying, you know, you are very pretty, this, that, and the third. Mind you, I was looking a hot-ass mess down Miami, okay? I had them damn braids in my head. It was hot, so my edges is lifting, because I'm natural. So it was hot, my edges is lifting. I don't know if it's just like a, you know, I don't know if he's from the islands or where he's from. I don't know if it's like a Jamaican thing. But when I came up in that surgery, facility, I wasn't looking like this. I had them braids in, I had no makeup on, no nothing. Like he said, I look like a little girl. But, you know, he was telling me, you're very pretty and all this other stuff. I just was like, oh, thanks. But he got the nurse to come in, and the nurse was while she came in, he got to marking me up. He was talking to me while he was marking me up, because I guess he was trying to make it like not awkward. He was talking to me about he was being very, very funny at this point, because he was talking to me about my career. He was saying like, you know, once I do this body, you can't be giving everybody that pom-pom. And I'm just like, he was like, it's going to be very valuable. And I'm like, baby, it was very valuable before the body. So it's definitely going to be, you know, very valuable afterwards. But, yeah, so after he mucked me up and whatnot, I'm so ready to get my hair done. I do not like this. But that's what we're going to do today. Oh, I could probably show y'all my stomach right now. I'm gonna wait. So after he mucked me up, he was like, all right, so the anesthesiologist is gonna come in. He was like, when she comes in, she'll explain, you know, her process, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, cool. Anesthesiologist came in. She gave me the anesthesia. I mean, not the anesthesia. She put the IV in my arm, and she just like telling me how she had a whole family coming in get lipo, and how she had like a lot of men starting to come in and get lipo, which we know, fellas, we know that y'all in there getting lipo and all that stuff too. So don't even sit here in front. So basically, yeah, she was just, you know, making me comfortable while giving me the IV. So she was like, all right, next time I come in, you know, we heading into the surgery room. I'm like, oh, shit. You know, at that, when she was doing my IV and talking to me, after Dr. Sampson, like, started talking to me and woke me up, I became more comfortable. Like, I wasn't as nervous or anything. But as soon as she said that shit, it was just like, all this nervousness and stuff just came out of nowhere. So I'm just like, every time somebody walked past my room when she walked out, I was just like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, I thought it was her coming back so that we could go in for surgery. So she finally come back. When she comes back, she's like, no, before she comes back, I prayed again. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I was sitting there, I was praying, and I kept like saying stuff out loud. Like, you gotta manifest. And I was sitting there telling myself, you gotta, you know, manifest and speak things into existence. So I'm sitting there telling myself, like, yo, you got this. You got this. God got you. You know, and even if something is to happen, you know, God know my heart. You know, and that's just what it is. But I was just like, you know, God got me. All this, that, and the third. I was just checking my phone, making sure nobody sent, you know, last minute, like, text messages or anything, and they didn't. I was on my Instagram. The people that I told, you know, the couple people that I did tell on my Instagram, I was on there just, you know, making sure they didn't send me no last minute messages or anything. Like, I was in there, I had, you know, prayed like one more time, and I was just telling God, like, you know, let me be safe. You know, whatever you decide to do is what you decide to do, but I just ask that you do allow me to be safe and let me return home. Let me like my results, you know, let everything be the way I needed to be. Because I had told Dr. Sampson, I specifically said, I was like, I don't want no big old booty. Because I was like, I don't want to be out here looking like no ant. I was like, I need to have a butt to where I want people to look at my body and be like, did she get surgery, or did she work out, or did she just gain a little bit of weight? Like, I don't want it to be, she got surgery. I didn't want that. So I wanted natural, but I still wanted volume at the same time, and baby, he gave it to me. But yep, after I said my prayer, after that, like probably 10-15 minutes later, the anesthesiologist came back in. We walked into the surgery room. A lot of people say they don't see their doctors when they're in the surgery room. I saw my doctor. I saw Dr. Sampson. He was in there. His assistant was in there. And the nurses, there was 2 nurses in there. My anesthesiologist was in there. So I seen everybody in there. They helped me on the table. Once I got on the table, I just remember laying there. So I was like, bitch, you ready to wake up a new person. So after that, I just remember her coming over, and she's like, I'm gonna put this in you and it's gonna relax you. And she was like, it's gonna burn a little bit. And so I'm just laying there, and she started like putting this stuff in me in the little IV thing, and I just feel like this tingle, and I'm like, ooh. And I just remember looking up at the light, and I remember the last thing thinking to myself, like, looking up at the light, and I realized that the light was getting dim, and I'm like, she put me to sleep. So I remember the last thing I was thinking in my mind was, God got me. Like, that was my last thought before I went to sleep. Like, I just remember the light getting dim, then I was out. Next thing you know, I was waking up in recovery, and I ain't gonna lie, I remember I was dreaming. I definitely was dreaming. I can't tell you what I was dreaming about, but I know for a fact I was dreaming, because when I don't know if I didn't wake up on time or if I didn't wake up like right after, but I remember the nurse coming over to me like, wake up, my love, wake up. And she's like, it's all over now. And I remember like dreaming, and somebody in my dream was saying that, but as I'm opening my eyes, I see it's her. And so I'm just like, I just remember waking up and looking around like, like, that was me. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not feeling nothing yet. And I'm just thinking to myself, I looked over to see if anybody was over. Next to me, nobody was there. So I guess the girl that had went in, that had got her surgery, she was already dead, or whatever the case may be. Or I don't know if she had another doctor or what. But I was just sitting there, and I'm just like, and then like, I feel like this, I felt pain, but it wasn't like screaming pain. Like, I don't know if I felt pain or pressure. It just wasn't that bad. So I just remember sitting there, and I just was like, And then I remember like feeling this heat on me. And I'm like, I don't know if my sides is burning from this lipo, or if this damn heater is too close to me. So I remember trying to like squirm away from the heater, because I couldn't really move. So I'm trying to like squirm away from the heater, because I'm like, this damn heater is burning me. But I'm trying to squirm away from the heater. While I'm trying to squirm away from the heater, I was trying to talk, but I really couldn't talk. And I'm like, can I have some water? And the nurse was sitting there, because they was like watching something on her phone in Spanish. I don't know what it was. It was 2 nurses. And they was like watching something on their phones in Spanish. And I had to be their last patient, because it was quiet. It wasn't nobody else in there. I didn't even see my doctors and stuff there no more. Like, it was only the nurses. So she was like, no, you can't have any water yet. She was like, I called your recovery house. They're on their way to come and get you. Mind you, I had wanted my best friend to be there, because I had wanted him to record me coming out, you know, to see like the condition I was going to be in. But he wasn't. And I'm gonna tell you what happened and why. But yeah, so I'm just laying there and I'm thinking to myself, and I just start feeling like a little bit more pressure. And I'm just like, ooh, ooh. But it wasn't like a, oh, like it wasn't that bad, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So I'm just sitting there, and she's like, probably like 15 minutes later, she's like, you know, she's here. The recovery house lady is here, and she was helping me out the bed. Mind you, she helping me out the bed, but I'm really pushing myself out the bed. Like, I'm doing everything really by myself. Like, it was not that bad. Like, I'm pushing myself out the bed. I know my butt was hurting. So as far as sitting on my butt, it was like, oh, like when I'm trying to sit down, I'm just like, you swollen. So it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to sit down. And by the time I sat down, I was cool. So after I'm sitting down, I just remember getting, she was pushing me out. She was talking to Miss Tammy, and she like, she did so good. She was like, she didn't wake up screaming. She didn't wake up. She was like, she's real strong. She didn't wake up screaming. She didn't wake up nothing. Like, she was fine. So I was just like, oh, bitches must really can't take pain. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's they can't take pain. I don't know if I have a high pain tolerance. I mean, I do, but I know I do. I have really, 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 really bad periods. Like, they're the worst. So I don't know if I can compare that to that, but it just wasn't that bad to me. Like, I got in the car. When I got in the car, they was helping me get in the car. I crawled in the car. And I remember, like, Miss Tammy telling me, like, you know, we didn't go pick up your prescriptions yet. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, oh, shit. Like, I don't know if I still had some anesthesia in me. But she, like, when the anesthesia went off, but I'm telling you, it really wasn't that bad. But she was like, I got some meds in the house already, so you're gonna be straight. So when I get there, when we in the car driving, yo, the first thing I said out my mouth, I said, Miss Tammy. She was like, yes. I was like, did you cook? And she was like, is that really what you asking me right now? And I'm like, yes. Like, did you cook? Because I was starving. Like, I could not wait to eat. Like, that was the first thing on my mind. Like, I just was like, yo, I gotta eat something. Like, something gotta give. So she was like, I made some spaghetti if you want some spaghetti. And I'm like, I don't even eat spaghetti, but I'm gonna eat that shit today because I was starving. Like, she was like, but you gotta, you know, you gotta eat anyway before I give you your meds. But she was like, I can't really put nothing heavy on your stomach. And I'm just like, man, I'm hungry. I don't want no soup. I'm hungry. So we get there, and I lie to y'all not. It was like as soon as I got out the car, she had called the nurse Bree, to come help her with me out of the nurse, to come help me out of the car. And Bree was the night nurse. It was two nurses there. They was my favorite nurses. Well, it was one of two nurses, but these two nurses was my favorite nurses. Bree was my night nurse. I loved her. And Kay was my day nurse. I loved her. Kay Spicy. So I was just like, and I mean, no shade to the other nurses. No, the other nurses are there. They cool. Kay's daughter is there also, and she's really, really nice. But Bree and Kay, they was my favorite nurses. So if y'all watching this, y'all was my favorite. But anyways, so I get there, Bree helping me out the car, and Miss Tammy helping me out the car, and they taking me to the side, to the little entrance to my room or whatever. And my best friend, he in there, and I guess he was on the phone with his mother because his mother was asking, like, was I okay, and how was I doing? And he was like, he didn't know because when he got back, he went to the store. And when he got back from the store, he was like, Miss Tammy was gone. Because she was going to bring him with him, but she was like, the only reason she didn't was because they called when he had walked to the store. And she was like, I know how it is when you in pain and you want somebody to hurry up and come and get you. So she was like, that's why I just was like, oh, he not here. I'm about to go get her. So she was just like, you know, I didn't know what state he was in. So that's why, you know, I ended up leaving him. And I understood. I didn't care. So I just like, it is what it is. But when I had got out the car, that's when I started feeling like a little bit more like soreness. It was like I started feeling pain, but it wasn't like, I wasn't feeling like I was gonna die. I started feeling uncomfortable. And so she helping me walk, and I'm just like, ooh, every step I took, I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then I like got on the bed, and they helping me on the bed, and I'm just like,
And that's when I started feeling everything. And I'm just like, oh my God, my butt. Like, I was like, my butt is killing me. So I'm sitting there. It felt like, I don't know if y'all ever fell down the steps on your butt. I done fell down the steps multiple times, right? Don't ask me why. It's just, throughout my life, I fell down the steps a couple times. But specifically, it has been times where I specifically fell down the steps on my butt, just on my butt. And I remember when I fell down the steps on my butt, like not too long ago, probably like this past summer, I asked myself, like, how are you going to get a BBL when you cannot take this? But it feel like when you fall down the steps on your butt. You know that pain you get when you fall on your butt? You just like, oh. That's what it feel like. And honestly, it was like, my butt wasn't even really hurting that bad. It was my stomach. Like, my stomach felt so weird, and it was just like hurting. And I just remember, like, I don't know what they put like down here. I don't know if it was like some sponges. I don't know what it was, but they put something down here. I just was like, I gotta take these off. And so, mind you, if you are going to get a BBL done, right? If you're going to get a BBL done, and if you are going to get arm surgery, like get your arms lipo, honestly, I'm going to tell you, you might want to think twice. Because the whole time, again, you can't lay on your butt. The whole time you are doing push-ups. Like, that is the only way you are going to get yourself up throughout this whole thing. I need to start getting dressed. Hold on, y'all. Make sure she ain't texting. Okay, she ain't texting. Let me see what I'm wearing. I'm going to wear jeans today, y'all. I ain't wore jeans in so long. I'm going to try to wear jeans today. So, ooh. See, I'm still hurting a little bit, but not too much. So, I might wear these. I think they're the ones. So, she had, can't close that. So we get there, and she's just like, I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, ooh, like everything kind of hurting me. But yeah, the whole time, you're going to be doing push-ups because you can't get up no other way. So I can only imagine what that's going to try to, you're going to need extra help if you get your arms and stuff like that too, because you're not going to really be able to push yourself up, because I can only imagine your arms are going to be numb and swollen and hurting as well. In there, and I'm starting to get a little irritated, and I don't mean to wild out everybody. It's just that I'm in pain. So I'm sitting there, and they all like, as soon as I got there, Miss Tammy had already laid out everything for me. I had crackers and soup there waiting for me as soon as I got there. They had sugar water, because sugar water is kind of like an IV. So they made me drink sugar water. I couldn't do until I drunk the sugar water and the soup and ate them crackers, they wasn't going to give me no pain meds. So I'm sitting there just telling myself, like, bitch, you need to eat so that you can get these pain meds. So she's stuffing crackers in my mouth. And I'm just like, where's the medicine? I'm getting angry, and I'm just like, where's my meds? And they like, calm down, you gotta eat. We can't give you nothing till you eat. And I'm just like, oh, like, and everybody just in my face. And then I just remember I was hot, and I just remember her saying, like, that's a first. Like, normally when people come, they cold. I'm like, no, I'm hot. I'm hot. They got all these covers on me. I'm like, take these covers off me. Like, and they taking the covers off. Bree giving me water. I'm like, I need some water. She giving me water. And while I'm drinking the water, I just remember saying, like, can you pour that on me? Like, I even said it in the video. I'm like, can you pour it on me? And she's like, what? And I'm like, pour the water on me. Like, just, I'm hot. Like, and she was like, yo, I'm not finna play with you. And so, like, yo, I don't know what was going on with my body. I was just hot. I was irritated. I was in pain. And I'm just like, it's like an achy pain. And I'm just like, give me water. Give me this. Where's my meds? So after I finally ate them crackers, because I'm stuffing, I'm going for that shit down. After I ate the meds, after I ate the crackers and drank the soup and all that, I was sitting there and I was just like, I was like, all right. They was like, all right, Miss Tammy come back, and she like, I got a Percocet, I got a muscle relaxer, and I got your Tylenol. It was either the Tylenol or the antibacterial pills. Antibacterial. Antibiotics. I don't know if she gave me that the next day or the night of. I don't know. I just remember taking anything she was giving me because I was just ready to not feel uncomfortable anymore. Because it's not necessarily like a pain. It's like an ache, and then it's like you just real uncomfortable, if that makes sense. But I'm sitting there, and I just remember her being like, here, giving me my meds, and she like giving about 10-15 minutes. So it felt like it took forever for the meds to kick in, but it really didn't. I was out like a light, honestly. But I just remember I kept doing these push-ups, and I kept sitting up trying to make myself feel comfortable. And I was like, sit up for a second, then I lay back down, then I sit up for a second, then I lay back down. I pushed myself up for a second, and Miss Tammy kept laughing because she was like telling my best friend like she gonna do that a couple times, like, you know, she was like, she got about 2 more left in her, and then she gonna be out. And my best friend, I just remember him laughing about it. And right before she had left out, I did 1 more, and she was like, she got 1 more left in her, watch. And my best friend was laughing, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, when is these pain meds gonna kick in? And I just remember Bree being like, just give it a couple more minutes, they gonna kick in. And so I'm laying down, and I'm just laying there, and I push myself up 1 more time. And my best friend just was like, yo, after you push yourself up, he was like, yo, you sleep. And she make the nurse stay in the room with you when you first come home, like the whole night you sleep. So Bree had stayed. Bree leave like around 7. So I think I woke up probably like around 6:30, because when I woke up, she wasn't there anymore. And my best friend was in there, and he was like, what's wrong? Because when I got up, you know, I'm on the bed, so he on the couch. So when I got up, he was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I gotta pee. Like, I swear, when I woke up, I felt no more pain. Like, I didn't feel anything. I felt sore, but it wasn't like pain anymore. So I just was like, I gotta pee. So I run to the bathroom. He helping me in the bathroom with my urinal and everything, like helping me unzipping myself, because you cannot bend over. Like, your stomach feels so weird, like you cannot bend over. So he helping me unzipping my thigh high. He helping me pee. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I want to see my butt. So I knew that I couldn't see it yet because I couldn't take off all my stuff. But when I'm in the mirror, the thigh high that seduction gave me was bullshit. But while I'm in the mirror, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared a little bit, because I'm like, yo, my butt is so big. But I just remember them saying, like, you know, you swollen when you first wake up. So the butt that you have when you first wake up, do not fall in love with that butt, because you're not gonna have that butt a month later, because you swollen. So I just remember sitting there like, oh my god, my butt's so big. So I went back to sleep. When I woke back up, I just remember waking up, Miss Tammy is stuffing these potatoes in my mouth, and I'm just like eating them. You know, I had no problems eating or nothing. Like, I was eating with no problems, and she just was like, oh, you gonna do fine. Like, if you eating like this and you up and walking around and stuff, like, I was walking around fine the next day. She was like, oh, you gonna do fine. So it's really like your first 3 days where you like, but after them 3 days, yo, you are fine. Like, I say the most is just really like soreness, and you gotta get used to your stomach feeling better. But baby, the massages. So I booked my massages through the squeeze lady. Now I was mad because I thought she was gonna come, but she was sending the people that worked for her, and I didn't mind. Like, they did a good job too. And one of the ladies that I recorded in my video, that's where she was from, the one that was doing my massage. She was from the squeeze lady, and she did cool. But that second lady that she sent, that lady, I didn't get a chance to record her, but she was bomb. Like, she was bomb. But them massages, I think what they forget to record during the massages, honestly, a lot of people, is the fact that, I know they say you're not supposed to open your incisions. And you're not. But that's how people end up with infections, because if that fluid stay in you, you're going to get an infection. So I remember when I went to my pre-op, because Seduction didn't even call me and tell me, like, that I had a pre-op the next day, or when my pre-op was going to be, or anything like that. They didn't say nothing. My nurse didn't say nothing when I left, like when I woke up, nothing. So I didn't even know that what time my pre-op was or nothing. I just remember they called me and they was like, why didn't you come for your pre-op? And I'm like, I didn't know I had one. But pre-op is my pre-op. I ended up going in late for my pre-op, and when I went in late, they had gave me a massage because I had got a free massage for my pre-op. And the person that did my massage and Seduction, she did a good job too. Now they're nurses and stuff, so I was okay with them opening up my incisions, but I was scared. So I had already had one massage before. I already had one massage before I went to Seduction for my pre-op. So when I get there, the lady from Seduction that was on my massage, she got like this little machine thing, and she like rubbing it on my stomach, and I was like, the massage just hurt, but I feel like the worst part for me was my stomach. Like, as far as them doing my back and stuff, it was just like, ooh, but my stomach, I would be like, not crying, but I'd just be like, like I had to really breathe. Like, I don't know why people would sound like that passed out. I don't know, maybe because I ate before my massages, I don't know. But I ain't have like no pain meds and nothing like before my massages. I feel like that's pointless, because even when I had my pain meds before Seduction massage, I still felt everything. So that shit is pointless. Save your meds for when you really need them. Unless you, oh, we bitch, psych, no. Unless you're a pump, psych. Unless you really feel like you might need them and you scared of pain, then go ahead and take your meds. But I didn't take no damn meds before I went to my massage at Seduction. And that massage was when I really was like, oh, okay, so they really do open your incisions. Because she opened up the one at the top of my butt. Because I seen her coming over with this blade. So it was her, and there was another nurse that came in. And the nurse just telling me as far as like pre-op, aftercare instructions and all that stuff. And the person doing my massage couldn't really speak English. The only thing she knew how to say in English was, no sex for 2 weeks. And she thought it was so funny. Like, she kept saying it. And I'm like, all right. Like, but anyways, so she's sitting there. Everything she was saying to me, she had to put in like a translator so that I could understand. Like, because I ain't gonna lie, I was being a little punk. Because certain shit, I just was like, what you doing? Like, so she ended up pulling out them Q-tips. And I remember when the squeeze lady, when one of her peoples did my massages, right before I came to Seduction, she pulled out them long ass Q-tips and she was like poking it in my incision. That shit burns. Like, it hurts. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So yeah, she poking it and it was like burn. I'm just like, ooh. But when this lady did it at Seduction, she was like, I got to, because if not, I cannot get the fluid out of you. And if the fluid don't come out, you won't get an infection. And she said this through like the translator. So then she's like, all right, lay down on your back so that I can do your back. So I'm laying on my back. I see her coming over with this blade. And I'm like, what you doing? And she get the laughing. That's exactly how I said it. What you doing? And she get the laughing, and she was laughing so hard, and she just was in a translator, and she was just like telling me she gotta cut open one of my stitches. And I'm just like, oh my god, like so she cutting open one of my stitches, and I'm just like and then she poking it, and then I just feel all this gushy stuff come out, and I'm just like, oh, what is that? And like, it was just going in places where it should not have gone. Like, oh my god. And she just massaging me, and so much of it is coming out, and so much. But I ain't gonna lie, like, once she did it, it was like a big ass relief on pressure on my back. So prepare yourself for these surgeries, because they gotta do certain stuff they have to do. And that's what was kind of pushing me through, like, because I kept telling myself, like, she gotta do it, like, she has to do it, you have to get it done. So And I'm a punk when it comes to doctors and stuff. Like, I don't like needles. I don't like none of that stuff. So I just was telling myself, like, you gotta do it. You here, you gotta do it. So she just pushing it out. And like I said, it was a relief because I had a lot of pressure in my back. And it just was like, as soon as she did that and was pushing, I just was like, oh. So while she in there massaging me, I stood back up and I just see all this like fluid and stuff everywhere. And I'm just like, ugh. And so I'm standing up and she get to doing my stomach and stuff again and pushing fluid out of my stomach. And when I'm doing that, the nurse came back in. And the nurse is like, I gotta give you these shots. And like I said, yo, I'm a bitch when it comes to needles. So I'm just like, shots? For what? And she like, I gotta give you these shots. Like Dr. Sampson requires for you to have the Lovenox shots when you get surgery with him. And that's just to prevent you from having blood clots. And they gotta give you 3. Well, she give you 1, and then you gotta either give 3 to yourself or your nurse or whoever you stand with do it. The nurses at the recovery house did it for me. But I'm sitting there and I'm getting, it took me a minute because I kept backing up from, I kept backing up for, and the lady doing my massage kept laughing. And she was like, you got that, and the nurse was like, you got that IV. She was like, the IV is way worse. And I'm like, that IV ain't hurt. And she like, the IV is worse than this. She's like, this is a little needle. And I'm looking, I'm like, it is a little needle, but I just do not fuck with needles. So it took her a minute, like, because I kept backing up. I kept saying, oh, and I kept saying, do I have to? Do I have to? She was like, you have to. And I'm like, I want to. And so she ended up poking me in the back of my arm. It really did not hurt. Like, I was like, oh. Like, the needle was really small. It burned a little bit, and that was it. So I was being a punk for no reason. After that, I went back to the recovery house. You know, a couple days going by cool or whatever. I'm healing. I was drinking hella pineapple juice, y'all. Pineapple juice is your best friend. Also, when you pee and stuff, it's helping getting the fluid and stuff out too. So drink as much fluids as you can. Eat as normal as possible. Do not try to diet. Now let me tell y'all the drama. Let me tell y'all why my best friend ended up leaving me and why we might not be cool no more. So let me try to stop putting myself on. Before I even go into that, I just want to show y'all like a preview of my body. I will be 3 weeks on Friday. Today is Wednesday. I'll be 3 weeks on Friday. This is my butt right now. I got my phones and stuff in, so I look a little bulky right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off. I'm not going to take off my fire completely because I don't have no underwear on. But I'm going to show y'all my stomach. Matter of fact, I'm going to set this back in because y'all can probably see it better from right here. But I'm going to show y'all my stomach. So what I'm doing is I'm going to explain to y'all. Ooh. So, mind you, if you looked at my last video, when I was packing, I had on like a onesie. And you can see like my body a little bit. And you can really see the difference. So, my best friend, right? My best friend, not my best friend. So, he had, this is my stomach now, y'all. Can y'all say snatch? Like, can y'all say snatched? Can y'all say 6-pack? I think it's because I really didn't have a lot of stomach fat. I wasn't that big. Like, I'm not that big. But, because I think they only put 1,200 cc's in each cheek. Like, they didn't take a lot of fat out of me. Like, I'm not a big girl, but my body just wasn't the way I wanted it. I gotta get my belly button repaired. But yeah, I'm still numb. I really can't feel my stomach or anything. I still get my massages as often as I can. They like on my back. Yeah, so he really did a really good job. My butt is not too big. I still got volume. It's starting to move a little bit. But yeah. So let me put this back in. So basically, my best friend, all right, so my best friend, we had, one morning we had woke up, and when we woke up, he was just like, he was already making me mad prior to the trip. And he was making me mad prior to the trip because at the last minute, he had like a little money issue. And I had to scrape up some money to make sure his part was covered. But he was like, you know, I'll pay you back or whatever. And that was fine. I ain't really had no problems with that or whatever. It's just, the only thing that was making me mad was it was the last minute. And I'm like, you know, we have been planning this in enough time to where you should have had your money and everything together. So, sorry y'all. This is how I compress, by the way. And the foams is really just so that you don't get like lipo burns. I mean, fire burns. And they help you compress more. But anyways, and I gotta get this taken in because it's too easy to put in now. And this is my stage 2. So yeah, so I just was like, you know, he had been acting funny anyway, but he had already promised that he was gonna come. I could have made other arrangements, and I kept asking him, like, I kept asking if he really wanted to come because I could have made other arrangements. But he kept saying no, like, I really want to come. This, that, and the third. You know, he had never been on a plane before, so he was just like, I really want to come. You know. So I just was like, all right, cool. So while we down there, he ended up getting a phone call, and it was his best friend. Now, I'm not going to put his name and stuff out there, but we're going to use code names. So while we're using code names, let's just say his name is Marcus. And let's just say the friend that ended up calling him, let's just say his name is Brian. So it had to be like 7 in the morning, right? And mind y'all know how y'all got that homeboy or homegirl. I've been talking too much. Y'all know how y'all got that homeboy or homegirl and you ask them to call you to get you out of a situation that you don't want to be in. Like, if you out with somebody and you be like, yo, call me real quick and tell me come home. Or call me, you get what I'm saying? But anyways, it could just be how I think. I don't know. But, so, it had to be like 7 in the morning. I was already kind of waking up because I could hear his phone ringing. He didn't hear his phone ringing at first. So, I heard his phone ringing. I was ignoring it or whatever, you know. And then I see him kind of waking up. And then when I see him waking up, he answered the phone. And when he answered the phone, it was Brian. So mind you, Brian is at home watching his pet. He has a dog. So Brian calls him and he like, I guess he sent him a text message at first that said, yo, your dog don't listen. But he ended up calling him and was like, the dog had ran away while he was walking it. Mind you, my best friend walks his dog without a leash. He walks his dog without a leash. But just because you walk your dog without a leash don't mean everybody else needs to walk your dog without a leash. I don't care how trained your dog is. I don't care. I have a dog myself. He has a, oh, I did not put it in my phone boy. I mean, my boy. He has a Shih Tzu. I have a Shih Tzu. So, he had, he's like a helmet dog person. So, he had, that's why I couldn't get it out. I'm like, something is missing. So, he like, what? He jump up and he like, what? Yeah, so he like, yeah, your dog don't listen, she ran off or whatever. So, my best friend, he run outside, he get to talking to his friend. I already knew it was gonna be some shit as soon as he said something about the damn dog. So, mind you, this had to be like 3 days before we were supposed to leave. So, I'm just like, he come back and he like, yo, my dog ran off, this, that, and the third. He like, yo, would you be mad if I left? And I'm just looking at him like, and you know, it's one of them things where you tell somebody like, let me lift this back up. You tell them like, no, but you really, like, you know, you don't mean that shit. So it's like, I was sitting there, I ain't say nothing. I'm just on my phone, and I just looked at him, and I just shook my head, like, and he like, looking at plane tickets and shit. Mind you, I had to pay extra. I had paid for the plane tickets. I already told him I would pay for the plane ticket because it was his first time flying. But I had to pay extra because, like, they got money because he had fucked up. And he had told me, like, last minute that he had the money or whatever. And so, anyway, so yeah, so we get to we sitting there and he like looking up plane tickets and shit. And I'm like, how you got money to catch an emergency flight, but you know, you ain't had no money to come on this trip last minute. And then when we was out down South Beach, you got money paying for these drinks and shit, but you claiming you ain't had no money, you know, before we got here. So I'm just trying to figure out, because he was drinking, I wasn't. So I'm just trying to figure out, and I'm not questioning him or nothing, you know, I'm not in his pockets, none of that shit. I'm just like thinking to myself, like, but you got all this money for this shit though. But you know, I ain't tripping nothing, I ain't saying nothing about it. I'm just thinking to myself. So we sitting there. Hold on, let me get my charger. So we sitting there and he looking at flights or whatever. So while this motherfucker is looking at flights, hold on, y'all, because we getting towards the end of this video. So while he looking at flights, I'm sitting there and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, oh, you really ready to leave because your dog ran away? I just had surgery. Like, I just had surgery. Mind you, before y'all even, like, give me, I really need to know if I'm wrong. Because I'm the type of person where it's like, if I'm wrong, I'm legit going to apologize. Because shit got real. Like, shit got hostile. I started wilding. Like, he was wilding. So, if I was wrong, I really will apologize. But I don't care, like, if it's not, like, family or something like that, like, some shit like that going on, I'm not about to leave you in a different state after I agreed to come down there with you because my dog ran away. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. I'll deal with that shit when I get home. It's a dog at the end of the day. You just had a complicated surgery. Not even just that. You down here. I'm at a good recovery house, mind you. But at the same time, sorry, I'm trying to, like, why is this not sitting up the way it was? I'm at a good recovery house. But at the end of the day, the point of you coming was for that support. I'm going to just sit it down. But yeah, the point of you coming was for support. Not only was it for support, but, you know, you need somebody that with you for support. You need somebody that with you to help you. You know, I was coming back home from that surgery was no joke. So it's like, even with assistance from the airport, that shit is still no joke. Like, I really, mind-wise, I was scared because I'm like, yo, I can catch a blood clot on this plane. Like, I needed him there with me because I would have been more comfortable. So I'm just like, yo, you want to go home to find your dog? Like, are you for real? Like, the same way the same strategy he used when he got home, he could have had somebody else use for him. Like, he didn't have to go home. And so, like, you can see the vibes. Like, you can see that we was, like, even in my video when we was, when I was recording, after the surgery or whatever, I was vlogging. He had came in on one of them, on one of the videos or whatever, and I was just like, you're not gonna say nothing to my vlog? And he like, I lost my dog. I'm like, he in a bad mood. Like, I understood because I get it because I know how he feel about his dog. But my whole thing is, yo, I just had surgery. Like, you're going to leave me in a completely different state around people I don't even know. Because if that was the case, I could have came by myself. But I didn't want to. Or I could have, you know, brought somebody else. But you want to leave me in a completely different state. I had to come back by myself. After I had surgery, like, are you for real? Like, to go find your dog. Mind you, he didn't end up leaving till the day after the dog ran away. So I'm like, yo, you really want to dip? Like, yo, I was so mad. Like, I was heated about it. Like, and I'm just like, I don't feel like that's a good enough reason to leave somebody when they just got surgery. Like, I'm only 3 days post-op. Anything could happen. So that's why I'm just like, that was fucked up. And then not only that, I mean, we had already agreed due to other circumstances that maybe we shouldn't be cool anymore after the trip. But it's just that put the icing on the cake. Because I'm like, you know how you hang around somebody and you might want to reconsider some shit. Or you might be like, you know, I might not like cutting them off or whatever. I might, you know, because we got history. So I'm just like, you know, shit could have been rekindled. But I'm like, no, like, that shit was fucked up. Like, you really left me to go find your dog. Mind you, I think it was bullshit because when I get back, like, as soon as my plane lands, he asking me, what the fuck did he ask me? He asked me if I got home safe or whatever, and then he's just like, I found my dog, this, that. Bitch, I'm sorry. I'm like, you found your dog. You have a Shih Tzu. Your best friend, Brian, lives in a white neighborhood. You're not about to sit here and tell me that, you know, it's snowing in Maryland. You're not about to sit here and tell me ain't no white person with a hood. We know how white people feel about dogs. Ain't no white person with a hood will let that dog wander around in the snow. And it's a cute dog. So that's why I'm like, if that dog really went missing, you was not going to find it. So he was like, yeah, I found my dog. He used this company to find his dog, where they use other dogs to find dogs. And I'm like, you could have did that while you was here, because you spent the whole $250 for them to find your dog. You could have cashed out that $250 to somebody, and they could have did the same shit. And that's why I'm like, that's bullshit. And I told him, like, I wilded out in that message. He like, you got home safe? I'm like, yeah. He like, he was like, oh yeah, I found my dog, by the way, just that and the third. And I'm like, I straight was like, first off, I said, fuck out of here. I don't even think that dog was missing. First and foremost. I said, second off, I said, I really ain't got nothing to say to you for real after this. I think that shit was fucked up. I'm happy you found her. But I'm like, you can keep that shit or whatever. I said, make sure you give me my money. Other than that, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. And he like, damn, for real, this thing. I'm like, no, for real. Like, that was fucked up. Like, you did all that to hurry up and run back home. Mind you, let me tell you a little side note. So, me and my best friend, like a long time ago, we tried to like make it like a little thing between us. But shit just didn't work out. So, mind you, we've always been very, very close. We've always been friends. Like, we legit had, like our bond was out of this world. Like, yo was really my best friend. Like, I could tell him anything. Like, I always asked him his opinion on things. I went to my best friend for everything. Like, I go to him before I go to one of my homegirls. Like, yeah. So, yo was like, we was really here. But that shit was fucked up. I would never do no shit like that to him. I wouldn't do that shit to nobody. I would not. That's just some shit I gotta deal with when I get home. I can understand if it was like a family member or some shit. Oh, your dog, yo? Are you serious? But, I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. I could be tripping. I don't think I'm tripping. But if I am tripping, explain. Dog lovers, explain. Because mind you, I have a dog too. I love my dog to death. I don't know. But let me know if I'm tripping, because if so, explain, and I will legit go apologize. And if you are watching this, if my best friend is watching this, because he a creep. Mind you, before I even go there, like I said, we tried to make things work a long time ago. I think he talking to somebody, or he messed with somebody, whatever the case may be. And that's fine or whatever, but I just know if I'm messing with somebody, I don't care if y'all best friends or not. You not going to Miami with no female. I don't give a fuck. Especially if I know y'all got some sort of history together. Fuck no, not for 5 days. And I'm gonna be like, for real, it really wasn't nothing like that. But I don't care. I'm not, shit happens. I'm not letting nobody I talk to go to Miami, just them two with no female. And I'm not there thinking, and I'm supposed to be thinking shit cool. Like, no. So I don't know if he had like a little situation and he had to make some shit up and hurry up and go home. I don't know, but my whole thing is just tell me that. But even if it was that, I still would like not have came straight home, because I already agreed to be there. If that was the case, you shouldn't have came. Like I said, I kept asking if he was legit going to come, and he kept saying yes. So I don't know. Y'all tell me if that's a good reason or if it's not. Let me know. But I honestly don't think it's a good reason. I would never do no shit like that to anybody, especially somebody I'm really, really close to. But if you are watching this, because like I said, he is a creep and he might be watching this video. I'm sorry for being hostile, because I was hostile. Like, we legit had an argument about it, and he got pissed when I was like, I mean, it's just a dog. I know how you feel about your dog, this, that, and the third. You'll really treat his dog like it's his kid. But anyways, I just got mad at the fact that you really wilding me, like going off at me, but you ain't go off on that person that really lost your dog. Like, I ain't not hear you not one time wild him out, but you wilding me out, and you taking all your anger out on me. And that's what made me like spark off. But if you are watching this, I apologize for being hostile. I apologize for all that. It's just that what you don't understand is that was fucked up to leave me in a completely different state while I just had my surgery done and have to carry on. Well, you took some of my bags home, so I'm not even going to sit here in front, but to have to get on that plane by myself, and I had to be wheelchair. I didn't want to be on my butt at all, but I had to like get assistance and stuff from the airport. But to be on that plane by myself was scary. It was scary as shit, mind you. I've never even been on a plane by myself, but that wasn't even the point. I wasn't scared to be on the plane by myself. I didn't want nothing to happen to me, and I didn't want, you know, I know you, and I know you would have spazzed out. That was the whole point of you coming. So I don't know. I just feel like that was messed up. I needed your support. I needed you to be there the whole time. But, and also, if that was supposed to be our last time really, like, you know, being around each other and stuff, that was a fucked up way to leave. Because it could have been done properly. We could have, you know, said our goodbyes or whatever, talked to each other, dapped it up, and said, have a good one. But no, I told that nigga, take care. And, the little message that I sent when I told him that, you know, we ain't got nothing else to say. And everybody know when I say take care, that's it. Like, I had talked to a friend like a couple days after that, and I had told him, like, another friend, and I had told him, like, yeah, like, everything that happened. And I'm just like, yeah, I told him to take care. He like, damn, you said take care? He was like, oh yeah, I know you was for real. You told me to take care 9 years ago. Yeah, 9 years ago. So when I say take care, I mean that shit. But yeah, if I was, like I said, I apologize, but I still think you was wrong, and I feel like you know you was wrong, and I think that's why you trying to somewhat be nice now. But that shit was wrong. The people at the place even said it was wrong. Once he left, they was like, no, like, that was wrong. My people was just saying, I just need to know for sure if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong. Everybody is making it clear that he ain't right. And they was like, even knowing how you feel about your dog, that shit wasn't right. But this is the end of this video. I showed y'all my stomach. When I'm a whole month, I'll do another update. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. And like I said, please comment below and let me know. But I'll see y'all next video.